All right, great. You guys can hear it. So let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm trying to be better, but I can keep malice. Ooh,
Why? Why do you keep malice?
because I hate confrontation. So when I'm angry, and you know that you have wronged me, I always expect that you use common sense to just be like, okay, I'm sorry. And I hate a patronizing apology. I hate apology. Like, okay, let me say it and forget. I want you to mean what you say. And when I'm angry, I start crying. I'm just a person that I cannot articulate my words. So I get passionate. I start talking, then I start crying. So and then the next thing that you will see now, it progresses to violence. So I'll start throwing things, I'll start banging the door. So I just keep quiet. That's how.
So you break things.
No,
You're
not
one of those
breaking that.
women when you're angry that you'll be breaking things.
No, I'll just be banging the door. If you come near me,
All right, so let's clear that up real quick. We'll get into it. So, confrontation, absolutely. Some people don't like confrontation. So what do? Right? They do it in different types of ways. They might be like, "Don't talk to me. Don't hold me. Don't like." Right? I think women do that for the most part, actually. But when people like they don't want to they don't want they're that upset, right? Don't shut down, right? So we're still talking about shut down. It's not intentional. It's still somebody avoiding communication. It's actually called avoidant style, right? But this is how some people respond to crisis. Is it competent? No, it's not it's not, there's no competence in that, right? There are actual skills that you can apply to how you respond, right? Sometimes you learn it over a lifetime. I prefer that I learn it. Why do you want to wait a lifetime, lose a few relationships before you learn that, right? You can learn it now and say, hey, I'm upset. I'll just listen. Okay? This thing is upsetting me. I'll just listen. I'll ask open-ended questions. We've talked about that here before. What do you mean? Okay, let me process that. That's a lot for me. Let me process that. No, honestly, I need to sleep. Okay, I'm not going to respond. So shutting down short term like that, that's okay, right? That's okay. But throwing things, violence, vitibao, why? No, you just bang the table. It's worse. It's worse than actually banging people. Oh, you didn't know. You never expected that. No, it's worse to actually bang anything than bang people, because obviously you don't mean to bang people. But what if you bang the table and this bottle flies off the table and hit a little baby on the side? No, that's a no. We have to mention that, right? That's somebody that's really, really upset, right? Take time off and build yourself. There's something about you that's making you react that way. So we're already aligning silent treatment with even before we get to silent treatment, this way of responding to crisis, we're already aligning that with that. Okay, no, it's right. It's time to learn something new, right? We don't just wake up and say, hey, that's how I do it, I'm just going to do it that way. No, Uncle Beno. No. Anything that's worthwhile in life, we're going to have to learn the proper way to respond. And it's not unique to individuals, right? So banging tables and just gonna shut down is not skillful ways of responding to crisis. Instead of shutting down, there's also another form of shutdown. We're not worried about semantics. Imagine if you just go quiet, but you engage your active listening. Active listening, it takes a lot more strength, emotional strength. It takes a lot more emotional strength than banging the table or shutting down, right? Actively say, I'm not going to say a lot, but I'm going to listen. So what do you mean? So when you say this, you mean this, you mean this. Okay, I disagree with that, but this is how I see it, right? They're talking, you're not like, me too, I still want to talk. Can I talk? Can I say something? Once you start doing, can I do? You guys do that in argument. You know you do that, right? Like, okay, you've been talking. Can I say something too? That means you were not listening. You were listening to respond, right? As opposed to listening to understand. You've heard these things before, but you never expected that it's going to be this hard. You listen to understand, meaning potentially you actually might not have anything to say at the end of their submission. You might just find out that, somehow you understand where they're coming from. And if you have anything to say, it will be a function of what they've said, meaning you actually took the time to understand what they said, and then you say, I hear you. This is what I understand about what you said. If it's that bad, sometimes you have to spell it out like that. This is what I feel. May I offer some alternatives, right? It's going to be awkward if you're not used to that. If you're used to just, oh, we just fall in love, we have sex, and everything is fine. If you're used to that, what I just explained to you is going to feel a little bit awkward because it's like everything is kind of structured, but it's just for now. It's just you're learning new skill sets. Eventually, it blends into your lifestyle and to the in-love experience that you have with your spouse, and then you have a better experience. But you have to go through that work, and that is not easy. The work is not, that work will drag you woto. Okay? Your emotions will be all over the place. You will feel cheated. You will feel like somebody's having one up on you. But again, we're trying to change bad habits. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay? But let's keep going. Hello, Sam. This lady made me raise an eyebrow. It's an expensive reaction. Expecting someone to use their common sense to figure out how they have offended you is immature. We have her here, by the way. She's laughing. That's her laughing right there. Now, here's the thing. I've tackled the common sense thing here a lot, right? Common sense. I tell you, common sense is a terrible guide to life. Terrible guide to life. Every one of us have common sense. At least we will claim we have common sense. At least we would like to think we have common sense. But also, about almost 75% of us end up in terrible relationships, right? And no, we can't just blame it on the other person. You attracted that situation. There's something. So common sense, unfortunately, you have to put it where it belongs. When it comes to the Prestige family, at least. Okay. Yeah. But she was saying that within a certain context. She was saying that she expects somebody to use common sense to apologize when they've wronged them, right? That's also assuming that the person wants to wrong you intentionally, right? So that's an assumption that you got off your butt from your father's house to go and marry somebody that wants to wrong you intentionally. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper, but when we go back, in circle, it comes right back to you, right? So, but let's not deviate, right? But anytime we bring in common sense, I want your readers to go off like common sense. Okay, what about beyond common sense? Because my common sense is basically how I was raised, how I was pre-programmed, and I know that there's something better than how I was pre-programmed. This is true for 100% of us. Okay, how you were pre-programmed is not what you want to be using, because we're talking about at least 20, 30, 40 years before now, and something that's this whole thing is a moving target. Change is inevitable. So if you're using how you were raised and you're not learning anything new, you're probably going to create more problems, you know. Ola, you are describing an Indian movie. Bottle hit the baby on the head. No, it happens. People get hurt when things say, yeah, but you're right, I described the movie. Anyway, let's continue the video.
Me, I will push you away. Like, I don't want you, understand. I don't break things. No. I just don't want you to come near me. If you are not coming to my level, the way I say it is that if you are not coming to my level, if you are not understanding where I'm coming from or why I'm angry, because I don't like fights. I don't like to. I'm that person, and I know that it's not possible for you to be in a relationship and not have issues or confrontation. I just feel like there are better ways. Before it gets to that level, there are better ways you can. Yeah, actually, I like to talk, but there's some. Okay, my husband is different. He goes from 100 to 0 to 100. Me, there's a progression to it. So if you have wronged me, I'll be like, I don't like this thing. Oh, stop it. Okay, but he will not say anything. All of a sudden, I'm like, where did it come from? You understand?
Yeah,
so we are different. That's why
we are different. But you know what? Malice is anybody that is here that is listening, whether you're a man or woman that keeps malice, you really need to work on it.
Yes.
Because actually, keeping malice with someone.
All right, so let me address something real quick. So she said her husband goes from 0 to 100, but I wanted to point something out. She also said there's a point that she made here that sounds almost like Uncle Beno's point. Let me see here. Oh, let's go back. We're back too far. There's a point that sounded almost like exactly the same thing Uncle Beno was saying.
I'm that kind of person, and I know that it's not possible for you to be in a relationship and not have issues or confrontation. I just feel like there are better ways before it gets to that level. There are
What
better
about
ways you can.
talking? What
Yeah,
about pulling down
actually, I
talking?
like to talk, but there's some. Okay, my husband is different. He goes from 100 to 0 to 100. Me, there's a progression to it. So if you have,
She's right that there's a progression to malice. People just don't land in malice, which is the reason why we say fix it. There's some things you can do before you get into that space. So she's right about that part, right?
wronged me, I'll be like, I don't like this thing. Oh, stop it. Okay, but he will not say anything. All of a sudden, you just, I'm like, where did it come from? You understand?
Yeah,
So we are different. That's why.
we are different.
We are different. Definitely sound like Uncle Beno. We're all different. The way we handle things definitely sound like Uncle Beno's point. No, we're not that different. Okay. We're creating the same. We're creating an experience with another human being. Okay. So, like, while we're different, at some point we're going to have to apply some healthy methodology for everybody to feel, because we're still social, emotional beings, and we want to connect. That's a basic human being need. In order to do that, you have to align with other people, right? So as different as we are, we have to also use much more healthier methods,
Friend, but you know what? Malice is anybody that is here that is listening, whether you're a man or woman that keeps malice, you really need to work on it.
Yes.
Because actually, keeping malice with someone is a form of abuse.
I know.
It is.
She said, I know. She's heard it enough. Like, I know. Stop. I know.
Yeah.
And there's a video I was watching before we started the show. I shared it in all the groups. I'm still going to share it in my community. Ola did it. It's just a short. It's not up to 5 minutes. When he was talking about 5 things you must know, or things that you can still do. And in that video, Ola was talking about. Maybe I should even just play it now. He was talking about conflicts as it's normal for you to have conflict in a relationship. There's no relationship where there is no conflict or misunderstanding. If you know that, then you will know peace. So it's not about you having misunderstanding or having conflict.
All right. So how many of you have seen the video she's talking about? How many of you have seen the video that she's talking about? The video that we have on our secondary sister platform. We have another platform that's strictly for marriages. It's called the Prestige Marriage Academy. How many of you have seen the video? If you haven't seen it, let me know right now that you haven't seen it. Have you seen the video about the 5 things you should probably prepare for? You haven't seen it? Anybody have seen it? No? Welcome, AG or Hiho. Let's see. Yeah. So there's a lot of common sense will land you. Yep, in the quarter. You haven't seen the video. You've not seen the video. Where have you guys been? Okay, no wonder there's only 5 subscribers on it. Okay, so in this channel right here, let me make it bigger. I'll play for you guys real quick. We only have 4 videos on it so far. So they are short videos. They are for my clients, but you can use it. It's called, you can also find it on the homepage of the YouTube channel, of this YouTube channel. It's called Prestige Marriage Academy. I think it's this one, 5 things before marriage. There you go. Grab a cup of coffee, get comfy. So 5 things to know before marriage and why it's never too late to learn. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Ola, and today we're diving into something super important. 5 things to know before marriage and why it's never too late to learn. Whether you're single, engaged, or already married, these insights can help you build or rebuild a strong foundation for your relationship. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's jump right in. Thing number 5, conflict is inevitable. Let's kick things off with the big one. Conflict is inevitable. Now, when I first married my wife Lola, I thought our disagreements were pretty mild. But as it turned out, Lola saw things very differently. She resented any moment of conflict, which made it hard for us to resolve our issues. We ended up pushing our problems under the rug, which only made things worse. Before we got married, we seemed to agree on everything. I was raised to see a disagreement as just that, a disagreement. But for Lola, arguments triggered a lot of fear and anxiety. It felt like we were speaking different languages. Our premarital counseling didn't really prepare us for this. It is not that our counselor didn't cover conflict resolution, but we just couldn't grasp it without the real life experience of conflict. And what I want to share with you is that conflict resolution skills are crucial. You need to know how to handle disagreements constructively. Think number four, friendship is non negotiable. Next up is friendship. In recent times, I've seen a lot of people, especially women, dismissing the idea of being friends with their spouses. This often comes from past disappointments. Imagine falling in love with someone you consider your best friend only to be betrayed by them. It's natural to associate that betrayal with the idea of friendship. Early in our marriage, Lola and I questioned everything that made us fall in love, including our friendship. I wondered if she was ever truly my friend, and I felt disrespected because we were so close. This confusion lasted for years until we realized we were sabotaging one of the best parts of our relationship. Friendship in marriage is an opportunity, not a threat. If you feel like you've never had a natural friendship with your partner, it can be built. Leverage the positive attributes you have in common as romantic partners. Genuine liking, even if it's not sexual, is a great foundation. Since we started seeing our friendship as an opportunity, conflict resolution has become almost effortless. It's been blissful. Thing number three, it's not how long, it's how well. When we first discovered our prestige marriage system, people would often ask, so you think you have all the answers? I saw this as fear stemming from their own personal trauma. After about 9 to 10 years of marriage and discovering the secrets of the prestige marriage system, we learned to release our obsession with the past and our anxiety about the future. The secret is simple. Wake up every day determined to make it the best day ever in your marriage. Address issues openly and honestly as they arise. With respect to emotional intelligence, focus on the quality of your marriage on a moment to moment basis. This approach not only builds a quality marriage but also increases the chances of having a long term happy relationship. Thing number two, in marriage, you need game. There's a common saying that goes, there's nothing worse than marrying the wrong person. While it's natural for people in terrible relationships to feel this way, it often comes down to a lack of knowledge and skills. This speaks to a level of arrogance and disrespect as an institution. Think about it. We don't treat any other institution this way. We don't jump into a job or a degree program without preparation and then blame fate when it doesn't work out. Yet, many people do this with marriage. They wing it, and when it fails, they say things like, I married the wrong person. In reality, it's often a lack of game or skills. That's the problem. There are principles that apply across the board in marriage, and it's crucial to learn and apply them. Your game should focus on self awareness, power dynamics, social skills, attraction, and emotional intelligence. Effective communication isn't just about talking assertively, it's about understanding and being understood. When you approach marriage with intentionality and a willingness to acquire skills, you set yourself up for success. Throwing your hands up and leaving things to luck is a losing strategy. Thing number one, sex is a necessity. Lastly, let's talk about sex. Growing up, neither my parents nor Lola's parents gave us any kind of sex education. We had to figure out what's healthy and what's not on our own. On top of that, sex was heavily demonized in our religious communities. While these teachings were meant to promote self control, they backfired. Sex is a part of reality and human needs. Avoiding it is counterproductive. It's necessary to educate yourself about sex in marriage. Healthy sex life feeds your marriage just as much as healthy relationship feeds your sex life. A healthy sex life also impacts other areas of life. It fosters a strong connection at home, which in turn fuels an exciting life outside the marriage. You can almost always tell when someone is sexually fulfilled at home by how they carry themselves professionally. As part of mastering the game inside marriage, one crucial aspect to understand is that you should never lead with sex. Even when the primary issue at hand is sexlessness, This might sound counterintuitive, but let's break it down. Sex is an intimate and sensitive topic, and when it becomes a point of contention, approaching it directly and aggressively can create additional tension and discomfort. Leading with demands or complaints about sex can make your partner feel pressured, judged, or inadequate. This often leads to defensiveness and further withdrawal, causing even more problem instead of solving it. Instead of focusing on building a strong emotional connection and fostering open and non-judgmental communication, start by addressing the underlying issue that might be affecting your intimacy. Are there unresolved conflicts, stressors, or emotional barriers? Often a lack of sexual intimacy is a symptom of deeper issues within the relationship. Start with something as simple as, what's wrong, babe? You know you can trust me, right? Prioritize creating a safe and loving environment where your partner feels valued and understood. Show appreciation for them and engage in activities that strengthen your bond outside the bedroom. This could be anything from spending quality time together, engaging in shared hobbies, or simply being more affectionate in everyday interactions. As you work on strengthening your emotional connection with attraction, sex should feel almost effortless at that point. Express your desires without placing blame or making demands. For example, you might say, I miss the closeness we used to have, and I would love for us to find a way to reconnect in that way, rather than we never have sex anymore. And that's a problem. This approach helps you to build trust and openness, making it easier for your partner to engage in conversations about improving your sex life. When they feel safe and appreciated, they're more likely to be receptive to finding solutions together. Remember, sex is an important part of marriage, but it thrives on the foundation of emotional intimacy, respect, and understanding. By leading with empathy and focusing on strengthening your overall relationship, you'll create an environment where a fulfilling and mutually satisfying sex life can naturally flourish. So there you have it. 5 essential things to know before marriage and why it's never too late to learn. Conflict is inevitable. With the right skills, you can handle it. 2, friendship is non-negotiable and it's an opportunity, not a threat. 3, focus on the quality of your marriage rather than length. 4, in marriage, you need game, the skills to navigate challenges effectively. And lastly, sex is a necessity for a healthy, fulfilling relationship. If you're already in a marriage and you're going through any of these issues, it's not too late. I suggest that you avoid being confrontational and consider using the help of a coach to help you navigate and facilitate your desired outcome. It's worth it. If you don't already have a coach, go to www.prestigemarriageacademy.com to secure one immediately. Over there, I will also give you immediate access to our books for free, Get My Marriage Back, and Number One Red Flag. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you have. I love hearing from you. Until next time, remember to love deeply, live fully, and keep building that strong, beautiful marriage. Take care. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yes, you can. All right, so go ahead and subscribe to this channel because we'll be dropping videos there. Uniquely, it's Marriage Academy. Okay. All right, so back to this. We catch a lot of crews here, matter of prestige. So I want to keep it that way. I want to continue to yield to, But we kind of talked about, let's see, AG Ohio says, Ola, please, can you talk more on what you meant when you said it's a game? I'm not in tune with that. Are you saying people are in it for their own or manipulative means? No, very far from it. Okay. Game actually, yes, it's skills. Exactly. I said that it's the skills to navigate. When you say you got game, like you're dating a young girl, or you're trying to woo a young, or you have ability to attract people to you, or in the context of you got game, meaning you have the skills, meaning you're just capable. Like there's something about you that just attracts greatness to you, right? So not game plan. You got game. It's skills. Just look at it as skills. Okay. So in this context, when we're talking about marriage, obviously we have to mean skills, but it's your ability to attract your desires. Okay. You understand beyond just right and wrong the principles that attract greatness to you. Okay. The principles that helps you navigate seemingly effortlessly. Like everybody looks at you like that guy got game, because they're looking at you, they're saying it looks very effortless, like he's not struggling at all. So when you are inside of a marriage and people are looking at both of you and they're saying their couple goals or something like that, and they are trying to wadi and they still can't find ed, right? Because people try. But anyway, the point is that you got game, meaning you attract what most other people desire, and it seems like it's effortless. It's really never effortless. It's just that you never see when LeBron James is throwing those shots about 200 times within the next 10 minutes. Because then when he's playing on a big stadium, it looks like it's perfect. He's King James, right? But that's what it means. I think I've done enough on that. Okay. So playing games in the context of you're playing games with somebody, it's not what we're talking about, because we're talking about a person who is part of you. Part of game is understand that person is you, right? Especially if you're a man. Part of game is understanding that if you don't respect that person, is literally you don't respect yourself, right? That's part of game. So there's a lot, but it just means the overall skill set, right? The art and the sciences of attracting romantic love in a way that seems effortless. All right. If it's a game, both will be like living in pretense. No, absolutely not. You don't say that when you go to work. You actually, if they give you training, you go to training and you become very good at it, and then we can say he got game. If we were talking about romance, right? So no, it's not playing games in that way. Game is basically having skills. Yes, that means there are rules and principles that need to be followed. Yes, at least until it becomes second nature. When it becomes second nature, people look at you and say you got game. So it's not like you're actively sitting there, let me manipulate them, let me see if I can get them to agree with me by shutting down for the next 3 days. That will be manipulation, right? That's why they call it abusive. All right, more comfortable with principles when people say you've got game. No, not games. You got game. It's usually not a positive thing. No, it's always a positive thing. Depends on where you're listening to. It's always, okay, so here's another angle. Let me dissect this a little bit with 60 seconds. If I tell a person, if I tell a young guy that if I look at him and say, oh, he got game, right? That means a lot of girls are attracted to him from time to time. They don't know why. The other kids, they seem like they're the good guy, but nobody comes to them. So in that sense, you can see it as, oh, so it's good or bad. No, it's just that the one that think they are good, they think being good is enough. The reality is that there's certain things that person is doing that's making all the girls be attracted to him. Okay, and it's usually not a bad thing. It could just be in a class setting. Maybe you are in GSS2. It could just be, it makes them laugh. It could be that simple. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Now, when we think of it as bad things, some people go to the flip end of it. They want to be a good person, and then they come back to the internet later and tell us that only the bad girls are getting good husband. No, that's why we prefer to use having game. You need game in relationships, particularly if you have to bring it down to one word, we mean skills. So stay with us. But I get what you mean though, but stay with us. We offer evidence-based relationship and marriage resources and coaching to help you navigate the difficult times.
Don't just wing it. Learn the principles that work.
Download our 2 free books and book your complimentary coaching session now at manofprestige.com.